So we are live and recording. Did I lose you? Oh, there we are. Okay.
I see me, but I don't see you.
Do you see me now?
No, I don't see you anymore.
How about now? Any luck?
Mm-mm.
Still nothing?
Still not seeing you. You seeing yourself?
I do see myself and I see you. Let me...
Huh.
See the screen where I should be? Like, do you see black?
Yeah, I see the screen. I see me.
And you can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you. That's okay.
Yeah, if you can hear me, then I think we're okay.
Yeah, it may be my Wi-Fi issues.
Okay, so tell me, since we last chatted, where things are at. Are you excited about tomorrow? I feel like we're really close to launch day.
Yeah, just been making lots of phone calls. And today I'm going to, and I was going to ask you about this.
Mm-hmm.
Put together, there you are. Put together my first post that I'll pin at the top of Facebook and also Twitter.
Yep.
And was going to ask you, I'm thinking about grabbing one of the photos from my Kickstarter and maybe putting a little bit of some lettering on it.
Yes.
What's that called? Words.
Yep.
Putting some text. That's the word I was looking for. Putting some text on it that just says, Michael Land the album, Kickstarter, it's time, or I don't know, just a few little things.
Yep.
And then letting that be like the main picture, like, oh, cool, this is his album,
yes.
This is Kickstarter, and then below that, obviously have a link. On Twitter, whenever you post a photo on Twitter,
yes,
I've never been able to like see those photos, or I've never done one directly to Twitter. I've always tried to do it through Instagram.
That's why.
Okay, so but I can post a photo directly to Twitter,
yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And ideally,
that's what I need to
do. At least through your Kickstarter, while you're trying to get the most traction, my advice is take the extra 5 minutes to do it directly through Twitter. Because not only can you see the photo as like a preview photo,
yes,
but you can also, like you do in Instagram, you can tag people. And that's where your power in Twitter is going to be. You want to tag anybody that could be related to your project, especially while you're making kind of announcement posts like that. Hey, my Kickstarter's going live, blah, blah, blah. You want to tag some news stations, some local, music, radio stations, that kind of stuff in the photo.
Okay.
And you have two options. And I'm going to make you aware of this because I think you should be doing both throughout the course of your Kickstarter campaign. When you make a post for Facebook and Twitter, you can use the photo that you've made, right? And then just put a short URL in there that they can click on. Or, especially for Facebook, you can bypass a photo and just put your Kickstarter link so that when it'll auto preview what that page looks like. And when people click on that photo, it's going to take them to that link. You following me?
Yeah. I've seen.
Go ahead.
No, I've seen that on some links, that I put up. It'll have the preview.
Yep.
It'll show the page.
There's power in both. So when you put a photo in first, right, and then you add the link at the bottom of the caption or something, it's going to make that photo like a photo, right? You can tag people in it. That's where the power of using a photo is. The power in a link, although you can't tag people, so you kind of minimize your reach, it's a direct link. And if you're driving people to something for a very specific reason, like in your case, then that sometimes is a little bit more direct because they don't have to hunt for it. So my suggestion for Facebook for this main Kickstarter pinned post is use the link and let it auto-generate the preview. Now you can customize the photo. So if you want to pull a photo off of your Kickstarter campaign and then customize it with some text, you can tell it that's the photo I want to use as the preview photo. Does that make sense? But it'll still use it as the link. You're going to have to to manipulate that and make it work like that. You're going to have to use your desktop. So make sure you use your laptop computer to make that post in Facebook.
And this is for my pin post, right?
Yes, for your pin post. Throughout the course of your Kickstarter, you know, you can go back and forth between posting the direct link that sends you to the link and between posting a photo that would kind of promote and talk about the Kickstarter. You should go back and forth because both of them are going to kind of reach different people in your followers.
Interesting. So when you put up a picture, you can tag people.
Yes.
You put up a link, you can't.
Correct.
But it will give you a preview.
Correct. Yes. Yep. Can you see me right now? Like, are you seeing my face?
Is what you're saying. And both of those have value.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Still there?
Okay. I'm going to, if you give me just one second, I'm going to pull up one of my clients' Facebook pages and show you an example of how to do what I'm talking about so that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Great. That's great. Because this first post tomorrow morning, I mean, obviously I'm staying up after midnight so I can, I'll run it live right at midnight, you know, so I can get the full day out of it and start, you know, putting the links on, you know, the Twitter and, you know, everything. That way it's all up on my bio. I've got everything in place. And then, you know, I'm going to be putting together an email to send out to my email list with all the link and stuff.
Yes.
And I'll probably send that like 6 a.m., you know, emails. People check their emails in the morning. And then I'm going to ask you, whenever you're ready, at some point during this call, talk about times of release on some of those. That's just trash. Talk about times. When's the best time to post on some of these and all of that.
Yes.
So
give me 2 seconds. I'll pull up this Facebook example for you so we can talk about, show you what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I do.
But you like the idea of me making like a campaign photo?
Yes, and I think that using a photo that I think that using a photo from your Kickstarter page is really important because you want them to feel like, you know, when they see that post on whatever social media site and then they go to the link, you're just continually branding that so that they, number one, get the feel of your brand and your album and kind of get that feel, but it also gives that professionalism. He's got this together. He's really going to do something great with this money kind of thing. You know what I mean? It just takes it to the next level. Okay.
Yes.
Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share with you. So let me know. You should see a Facebook page. Do you see that? For the Brickyard? Okay. So I'm going to show you 2 posts, and then I'm actually going to show you kind of the steps to take when you upload it. So this post right here this is a restaurant that I do marketing for down in Chandler, right next to Vintage, you know, the Brickyard. So we got mentioned in the Phoenix magazine, and we got a review done on us. We were super stoked about it. And we actually made 2 posts. So the first one that I made was this one right here. And I used a photo. So I uploaded a photo into Facebook first. Then I typed my caption. And then I tagged people in the photo, just like you know how to do, right? And there's a few things that I'll point out in the post that made this post powerful. I tagged ourselves, the Brickyard Downtown. And the reason I did this is so that when people share it, a link back to our Facebook page is very easy to find. Because sometimes if you look at a shared post, you kind of have to hunt down below in the light gray text to see the original poster. Does that make sense? Can you hear me, Michael?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Mike, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're breaking up pretty bad. I'm so sorry.
That's
Chelsea.
okay. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out, did you hear what I talked about when I was talking about the tag of our own restaurant, the Brickyard Downtown?
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere in your post, you might, and it could be at the end, but just use your own name, your own Facebook name, and tag yourself so that as people share that post, especially that main Kickstarter post, you're in there and they could click on you and go right to your Facebook page very easily, regardless of who is sharing the post. Does that make sense? Then we put a photo in, and within that photo, just like you would a personal photo on Facebook, we tagged our key staff, our managers, and our servers. And when you tag on Facebook, much like Instagram and Twitter, it shows that post to those people's friends and followers. So you're expanding the reach of that post. That's powerful probably a little bit later in your Kickstarter campaign, when you're maybe talking about some other people that have supported you along the way, or maybe thanking people, or you're talking about an interview that you just did. When you can tag anybody in that photo or in that post, you're going to expand the reach just naturally of the post. So it's going to be very helpful. You with me so far?
Yeah, and you're still breaking up, but I think it's probably capturing it, in real time. So I'll be able to go back and check it. So
I'll try to slow down too, just to see if maybe that helps. The next post that I'll point out is just in sequence, so it's easy. This is an example, but it's this link from Downtown Chandler. And so what we did here is we literally copy and pasted the URL from the top of this Downtown Chandler page, and we put it in to make a post on Facebook. And if you put it in the text section of Facebook and you just give it a second, it'll auto-generate that link. And then you can, of course, type your caption and do whatever you want to do. This is where you can manipulate what this image is, right? It just pulled an image that fit from that link, but I'll show you how you can manipulate that so that you can kind of create a custom image. I'm just going to use your website as an example. Are you able to... Are you able to see my screen, my Facebook screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So I went to your website. I just copied the link, and I'm going to come up here to write a post, right? Just as if I was going to write something new. And I'm just going to paste that link first. And if you can see, it's loading right here. And now it's going to pull up and auto-generate, and it's just pulling images from your site. Typically, one image is plenty. People don't really click through them very often. So do you see down here at the bottom where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it shows all those images? You see these images down at the bottom, 1 through 5? So I'm just going.
Yes, I see that.
I'm going to uncheck the ones that I don't want. I'm just going to click on them. And they're just going to start to disappear. Right? The other way that you can do that is there's going to be an X button up at the top in the corner of the photos. So you can also manipulate them that way.
Okay.
Then there's a plus button right down here beside all of these. This is where you can drag and drop your new photo. So create a photo, save it to your desktop, and then you can drag and drop that right into. Actually, it's going to make me click on it. But okay. You can pick that photo, and it's still going to be that link, right? But that's going to be your photo that's going to on that page, so that when they click it, it'll go right to where that link is.
Okay, so that's where I'll put my Kickstarter link, and then I can add in that photo that I make with the new text.
And then once you do that, you can actually delete this URL right here. This doesn't need to be there anymore because it's already embedded. So now I can type my post. See my new
Interesting.
Kickstarter. Okay. You're going to want to tag Kickstarter. Campaign for the at Michael Land album. So thankful for your support. Right, you get the idea.
Cool. Yeah.
And you can actually manipulate this text right here, which is an autofill. This is just based on what it's going to pull from your website. You can manipulate this too. So if you want to make this a little bit more enticing, love to finally bring you new music that means something to me, right? Whatever it is. You would want to use something similar to what you have written there, but because you have such a short space, you can manipulate that to make it as enticing as possible for Facebook viewers. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah, and again, you were breaking quite a bit in there, but it's all there for me, so.
Yes, good. Probably hard to ask you since I know I was breaking up. Do you have any questions at the moment as far as it pertains to that?
No, I think it's all there. That's good. That's going to help guide me, when I get ready to post all this early in the morning,
Yes.
Depending on what time is best to do that, so.
The other thing, and then the next thing that I'll tell you, and this will pertain to timing, is in Facebook, ideally posting it live is ideal, right? So you write the post and you press submit. You can, in Facebook, schedule a post as well. Do you know how to do that?
Okay. I haven't done that yet, but I've heard of that. So
if right where the post button is in the bottom of your post, when you're writing an update, there's a little drop down arrow. So instead of clicking post, you click that drop down arrow, and that drop down arrow will give you the option to save it as a draft, publish it, or schedule it. And as soon as you click schedule, you can see a calendar and pick when.
Okay, great.
It's kind of up to you because I don't exactly know how crazy your schedule is going to be. If you think that you'll be a little bit busy, then what I would do is at least create your core Facebook posts, the ones that are kind of announcing or re-announcing the Kickstarter deal, and schedule those. Put them in to go live every few days as the schedule suggests, the one that you guys are working on, so that it's there. Ideally, you should be logging onto Facebook every day. And so when those days hit, you can go in there, you can pull that post and submit it live. Facebook's algorithm is going to give you a little bit more success if you're pressing the publish button, because it just thinks that it's more authentic. But that way it's in there. And if you get crazy busy with your family, or if you end up getting a last minute gig or whatever that is, then at least it's there and it'll go live.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's an option too for you on Facebook. On Facebook, because it's using a mathematical algorithm, timing isn't as important. It's going to show your post to people when it thinks those people want to see it. So a lot of that is about their own interaction.
Okay.
And a little bit is about, you know, every person's Facebook followers are a little bit different, right? So yours are going to be different than every client I have. You know, their timing is a little bit different. My best suggestion for you over the course of the month is to try and hit those major times of the day. Try 1 or 2 in the morning before work, you know, the 6 to 9 a.m. Try one around noon, around lunchtime. Try one just after work, the 4 to 6 p.m. And then try one late evening, 8 to 10 p.m. You'll see kind of what's trendy, and obviously there's a lot of variables, so sometimes it's not as simple. But Facebook is going to be less important. Instagram has a little bit more time sensitivity because it's a little bit more direct. For Instagram, again, every following group is a little bit different. In general, really late nights do well. Anything after 8 or 9 p.m. And then on weekends, you're really successful, like Thursday to Saturday, you're really successful at any time. You could post at, 11 a.m. and probably do pretty well. The same amount as you would if you post at 6 p.m. So timing isn't going to make much of a difference.
Okay.
But I said, like I said, some tribes are a little bit different. I have one client, and I think it's because a lot of her followers are moms. They have the most interaction between, it's like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. My guess is because that's when those moms have time to be away from their kids and be on their Instagram. So you're going to, just kind of watch it, as far as when you're seeing which post you're seeing the most interaction on based on when you post it. But typically evenings are pretty good.
Okay.
Twitter also, I think the statistic says that that any business working hour, East Coast business working hour, right, which would be 5 a.m. for us to 3 p.m. is the sweet spot for Twitter. But I found that Twitter can be all over the board, especially if you're tagging people. So like if you make a post, Phoenix musician launches Kickstarter, to pursue his own album, right? Blah, blah, blah. And you tag a handful of radio stations. If those radio stations, if the person checking that Twitter isn't active until they're off air at 10 p.m., your post will get the most action later that day, So it's totally dependent on who you're targeting and what you're targeting. So I would say that timing is much less important. This is true for all of them. Much less important than those elements. Make sure that you're using hashtags correctly and make sure that you're tagging people in the photos.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever tagged many people in Twitter, so
it'll be new fun for you. Yes.
There you go.
And I will, I'll first thing tomorrow make from my own Twitter account, make a post about you and your Kickstarter campaign, and I'll do all these things that I'm talking about so that you can come and look at that post and kind of see what that feels like. Of course, it'll increase your exposure too, but that way you can see kind of what I mean and how that looks to be perceived, because I'll obviously tag you. So you'll see how that would come through to somebody that's being tagged in it. Does that make sense?
Great. Sounds good.
What do you typically use? What tool do you use to create a graphic with text and stuff on it?
I use GIMP because it's free.
Okay.
You ever used GIMP before?
Yes, vaguely. I have a friend that swears by it. I'll throw you one other tool your way that's, if you are comfortable with GIMP, stick with it. This is another one that when you have time, play with it. I live by it. It's also free. It's called Canva, like canvas without the S, Canva.
Okay.
It's very drag and drop. It's like graphics for dummies, but it's very easy, very user friendly.
Okay.
So that's another one that you can use too.
Great.
Put any thought behind the media pitch?
No, I really, you know, the way I'm pitching it is first full production album, you know, on Kickstarter. I didn't really play the, you know, been in my heart since I was 14. You know, I'd be doing this whether if I had a family or not.
Sure.
So I chose not to, you know, and I really wanted people to catch the vision of my dream. You know, that this has been my dream to have a voice in today's music business, to be able to connect to people all over the world through my music, and it to be 100% authentic Michael Land.
Yes.
You know, so that it's in there somewhere. Yes. I just don't know how to package that, but you know, with the goal of sharing his music to the world, you know, first full production album. I mean, obviously I've self-produced stuff and I've been doing music for a long time. So it's not like it's not a rookie thing, but it's a next level. This is it. This is the big one. You know, this is the big time. You can be a part of, you know, help launching his career of, you know, giving Michael a voice in today's music business. You know, like all of those are terms that I've used in my Kickstarter, you know, to kind of cast the vision. So, yeah, so that is the story. I haven't really nailed it down to like one sentence but I don't know. I feel like it's in there somewhere. Do you feel that?
I do. The very first sentence
somehow
you made,
just needs to be packaged.
You broke up and it kind of got glitchy, but you were saying something about your family, and I just want you to repeat that so that I can make sure I heard that. You were saying something about having a family or not.
Yeah, I chose not to play the family card for the Kickstarter. Because I mean, I've done it in the past, you know, the TV interviews, you know, I was on NBC multiple times. I don't know if you saw that YouTube video. They came over to the house, and that was great press, you know, but I didn't have a product to push necessarily. It was just a story. Father of 5 pursuing his dream as a full-time musician in Phoenix. And so that's, you know, that was up on YouTube, and you know, it was fun. But really, it's about the dream, and this is what I wanted this to be about. Like, hey, this has been his dream for a long time, and finally, it's coming to fruition. He's got an amazing team. It's, you know, top 40 music engineers and industry level radio ready music. You know, so the focus is the quality and really getting in the game, like first full production. So anyway, that's the gist.
How would you categorize the genre or type of music?
It's pop soul.
Okay.
Yeah, pop soul. It's really like I was telling somebody if Amos Lee, Gavin DeGraw, and John Legend all had a kid. That's what it. That's really. I mean, like it's just all there. It's all there. So it's got its own uniqueness, but it's going to be very, very soulful, very vocal driven, pop hooks, sing along, you know, stuff the world can sing along to, you know. Pop soul for sure.
Okay. I love it. And I think that is your media pitch. I think you just said it. So I think that's great. And that's marketable, right? I mean, I know you're not doing this for marketing, you're doing it to pursue your dream, but the fact is that people want to support people's dreams, right? That's why we love America. That's why we love freedom. That's why we love independence. That's why we have our beliefs that we do, right? Because it's about living to our fullest potential. And I think everybody can get behind that. So I don't think that there needs to be a media pitch beyond that. I think that's it just in and of itself. So, so I love it. And obviously Kickstarter is your way of inviting people to join that journey, right? To join on the journey of fulfilling your dream.
Do you hear the horns?
Yeah.
You with me?
I heard you say encouraging people to join on the journey of living your dream. I like that.
Yep. Yeah. And I can. Okay, so you're gonna start the post tonight, which is great. Where do you feel like you still feel like you need some help, need some direction to get this thing moving?
You know, I think if I can just toss you this image once I get it done at some point today,
yep,
and let you look at it and just kind of do a mock post. I'll put all my wording in there and just let you look at it. Say, yeah, this would be really good for your pin post. You know, this looks clean. I like it.
Yep.
And that, I think that will give me a guide going forward.
Yes.
How to do it. Now, with every post that I make, do I need to provide that link every single time, or is it okay for them to search through and find it?
Say the first part one more time. What was the question?
With every post throughout these 30 days, do I always need to have the same link, all of that in there, or some of them are just going to be quick updates? Make sure you check it out, and then kind of have them look for it to an extent where they have to make the effort to go look for it. Because I don't want to bombard them with the same stuff every time, unless some of those tags are the same though, right? Some of those things they won't see because they're in the comment section below on Instagram. So I know some of those tags are going to be the same, but like I definitely want them to get to that link. You know, the Kickstarter link. So maybe if I say, okay, once a day on all the platforms, I'm going to post this link. And then all the other posts can be information or show me out and about doing what I'm doing. Does that sound about right?
You know, Instagram, as you know, the only link you have is in your bio, right? You can't put a link in the caption. So Instagram, you get to be the most creative because the only place they can find that link is in that one place. And that link should stay there the whole time, right? What you want to make sure to do in Instagram, people are inherently lazy. And so what you want to do is remind them the link is in the bio, right? Using that phrase, which sometimes feels cheesy, I know, but it will literally create oh yeah, let me go click that link. People aren't dumb. They just don't think about it sometimes. So that is, you're exactly right. You don't need to do that every single post on Instagram, but often throughout the course of your campaign, you want to make sure, you're making a post about an update, right? You're singing a little song, just got a few more donors, doing this and this with my family today, to keep up with the journey or to join me on the journey or to see where I'm at, click the link in the bio, right? It's something like that. You with me? And yes, you are correct as far as Facebook and Twitter. As long as you have something pinned at all times that has the link in it, then don't feel like you need to include the link every time. If you have something pinned, you'll just want to include the link when whatever you're talking about in the post is asking them to go to it, right? So you want to make it easy if you're asking for that. Okay. If you're saying, hey guys, just hit a third of my goal. Would love the support if you can help out, to get me at my halfway point. then you want to include the link, right? But if you're just, singing a little 15-second song about how excited you are or whatever, thankful for everybody who's helping me on my Kickstarter, you don't need to include the link on that one because you don't want to be overly pushy. You just want to keep engaging with people. So let that post be authentic and be direct. And as long as you have that pinned thing, then whenever they come to your Facebook, that's the first thing they're going to see anyway. So that is the way you make that easy for them.
No, that's good.
So yeah, I think you're spot on with all that.
Okay. Cool. So you like the story, the one sentence reason why to follow being join me on my journey of living my dream.
Yep.
Something along those lines. Okay. Follow me and join or yeah.
You can play with wording. I do like, and of course you can use some synonyms, but I like and it is liked on social media, the idea of joining, right? The idea of engaging with you on your journey, right? Coming along with you, not just following you to watch you. I think that's the part of Kickstarter that is such a successful thing for artists, because people who used to just be visual consumers of art now actually feel like they're a part of that by donating $10 or $500 or $5,000 for that journey. Did you catch all that? Mike, you with me?
I missed the majority of that, Chelsea. I'm so sorry. There was some great.
Oh, I lost you.
Yeah, I'm so
me?
sorry. That was a rough minute or two there. And you got into some real meat right there. I mean, I know that was some good stuff right there. Gosh.
That's all right. I was just saying that I know on social media, it's very trendy and common. People like the idea of joining or engaging with that journey, right? And I think that's what social media and things like Kickstarter have offered for people like me who don't consider themselves creatives, right? For the last 100 years, we've consumed art from a visual standpoint. We go to the art gallery and we look at the art. And now with things like Kickstarter, if I donate $10 or $500 to you, I feel like I'm now a part of your art, right? And you creating that dream and living that dream. So I think that's however you can phrase that and embody that in that one sentence is going to be the key, right? It's about I've had this dream my whole life, and now you get to help me. You get to join me in making it come to life.
So good.
Which really is music in itself, right? That's, I think, your power as a musician. When you sing to somebody, they feel like they're a part of that music, and that's the power of music and the power of good musicians. So you're just translating that into Kickstarter.
That's so good. All right. Cool.
Okay. What else? How can I help you right at this moment?
And so you helped me with times. I was thinking of time for release. I don't feel like Hootsuite will work for me because I like all the little extras you're telling me, because I can't do some of that. Like if I was like a scheduling maniac, and just had it on a schedule and would just, which I'm going to have a lot of content to release, but I need to take my time with these posts, tag them right, put all the right stuff on there. And I feel like doing it live will be better, especially early on, and throughout this campaign.
Yes.
You know, once I get past these 30 days and, you know, I've got through this album and I have a better idea of how I want to release content, you know, but I just don't think I'll be using that tool these 30 days.
I would say that your best bet for exposure is to not use the tool. Yep.
Okay, because
I agree.
All these platforms know when it is a tool. They know when it's not organic, and so that will affect your reach.
They do.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
The last thing that I'll throw your way, just to kind of think about and try to incorporate, is you know, every day when you're logging on and you're making these posts throughout your profiles, I would say that it would behoove you and it would be in your best interest to take 15 or 20 minutes after you've made your first post for the day and pick a platform. In particular, Twitter and Instagram are probably going to be your most powerful, and engage with some people there that maybe you don't know them yet. Maybe they're other musicians, maybe they're other people in art and entertainment, but just go and do some things, right? Whether that's like a few posts of theirs. Retweets on Twitter are super powerful, and they'll help you actually gain followers in kind of a cool way. So, you know, anything, whether it has to do with Phoenix and things going on around there, you know, the art and music culture in general, you know, news stories about that kind of stuff, whatever it is, making a retweet, which takes no more than 5 seconds, can be very powerful. And those kind of things will obviously gain exposure for your campaign naturally and organically, because it's not like you're selling it to these people. You're just organically engaging with that community.
Does that make sense? Completely free.
It is completely free. Yep. And if you know, especially for Twitter, part of one of the things that I've decided that I'm going to make a part of my priority through the course of this campaign is I'm going to use my Twitter network to leverage the press and the radio reach. So feel free to do it too. But if you focused on pushing out fresh content, whether that's announcing your Kickstarter or just the fun stuff, right? The singing for 15 or 20 seconds, the, you know, whatever, right? Especially on Twitter, I will make sure that I'm pushing the press side of it. I'll use that sentence or two. Hey, here's this guy, join him on his journey as he creates the album of his dream. And then I'll be tagging those press so that, again, it doesn't look as much like you're doing it, but it looks like there's this cool musician and some people are behind him.
No,
Does that make sense? And if you're engaging with the rest of the industry on that platform, it'll just boost that whole thing up and help create some noise.
That's really good. And while you were talking, I just thought of a company here in town, and they do radio interviews for independent musicians. Right here in LA.
Okay.
I'm going to contact him today.
Okay.
And let him know about my campaign. And since I'll be coming back on weekends to finish this church contract that I'm doing.
I just lost you.
Hey, Chelsea.
You there?
Yeah, it's bad connection. I'm sorry. But
that's okay. I got that you were going to contact him, and you'd be back on, I think you were saying Wednesday.
I'll be back on weekends through this entire campaign.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to work on that. maybe get something out, because it would kind of look cool too to do an interview in LA, you know?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And certainly utilize, you know, you can, when you're talking to people like that, you can certainly mention, I have a small press team behind me. So if this is something that you're able to do, I can make sure that your radio station gets some social media exposure throughout the course of this whole thing too. We'll make this a win-win.
Okay. That's so good. I love it. That's perfect, Chelsea.
Me too. I'm excited for you.
Awesome. I was just bragging about you today, my producer out in South Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, so, good. Thank you.
It's exciting.
Is he just in South Carolina for the moment,
or
is that where
he's and that's where I'll be traveling first week of September to track everything in a real nice studio out there. So.
Cool. I spent about 12 years of my life in North Carolina, so I'm deep South is home. All right. So.
All right. Yep. Got a lot of great friends out that way.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, cool, Chelsea. And I really, I hope the recording captured everything. I think it would on your end, because it's my end that's been crazy. So I can go back.
Yes.
And grab everything that I didn't
Let me
get.
know. Go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna. Excuse me. I was just gonna say I'm gonna send you that photo later on today. The one that I want to use for the main pin. Yeah.
Perfect. Let me know if you have questions too as you're creating these posts. I mean, even as simple as, do you have any hashtags you suggest, or am I doing this right? That kind of stuff. And I'm a night owl too. So if you, ever need me late, then it's, no worries. If I'm asleep, I won't respond. But if I'm up, I'm always there to help. So let me know.
Okay.
Glad I can help.
You're awesome. You're a real godsend through all this. So I'm still going to be going crazy, but it's a lot less crazy.
I'm glad I could be a help and have the time. So it was good timing. Work on that photo, get that over to me, and we'll chat soon. All right.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Sounds good, Chelsea. Thanks a lot.